two.
Which one is shaking?
So, this should be okay. And okay. Good morning, everyone. Once again, I'm happy to stand in front of you for a session like this. Welcome, and we are going to have a great time together. So, we are still on the defensive aspects of cybersecurity, and today we'll be looking into forensics, and we'll be covering cryptography and incident response as well. Please, I need the slides on the screen. Thank you. We seem to be much fewer today. We seem to be few today.
Yes. The students went to school. You know, they have students in Windows.
Okay.
Yes, they went to school.
Okay. Okay.
That's just basically what it is.
All right. No problem. So immediately we are going to talk about digital forensics, and I'm made to understand that we have some experts in our midst. So this session is actually going to be interactive. I'll not be the one doing all the talking. We'll be interacting. Please let the slides be on the screen. Session. I'm projecting.
Yeah, check if it's projecting.
This one is projecting. Not coming up. How about now?
It's up.
Okay. All right, so sorry for that interruption. We needed to fix that. Let's dive into what digital forensics is all about. And before we get into digital forensics, forensics on its own has always been a field, a very honorable field, and then the concept of forensics was moved into the digital world, whereby you, the forensics officer can actually go investigate a crime, get to pick up evidence, and all those stuff. The same concept, the same principles was also moved into the digital world, and then we have digital forensics. So, going into it, I define digital forensics here as the process of identifying, very, very important, identifying, collecting, analyzing, and preserving digital evidence from electronic devices. And these electronic devices, as we know, are our PCs, our smartphones. It also includes our network infrastructure, web servers, servers in general, not just web servers, servers in general, because we have several kinds of servers. We have FTP servers, we have SMTP servers, and a whole lot of them. All right. But then, this entire process of identifying, collecting, and analyzing, and preserving digital evidence must be done in a legalized way. Am I telling the truth? For we that are into forensics, right? There's a legalized way to do all of this. You don't just jump into it, right? And when we are talking about digital forensics or forensics in general, it typically deals in investigating cyber crimes, right? Okay, and data breaches as well. And very well, there's always an interaction with law enforcement. Law enforcement are always involved in the whole process. So let's go further. Let's go further. So what is the importance of digital forensics in incident response? Remember, when we are talking about the defensive security, the defensive aspect of security, you cannot do away with incident response. Okay, we cannot do away with incident response. The forensic team are part of the security team that responds to an incident, or you can call it a security incident. What we mean by a security incident is actually an event that tends to compromise the security of an organization, the security posture of an organization, something that tends to pose threats to the security posture of an organization. It could be on their network, could be on their system, could be on their database, all right? So, how important is digital forensics in incident response? We said that it helps the security team to understand the impact or the scope of a breach. Okay? Just let me silence that. It helps the security team to understand the impact and also the scope of a breach. And how is this possible? Through the logs they are going to pick up as evidence, through the files they are going to pick up as evidence for more investigation, probably through the network traffic that has been captured and they are being used as evidence for more investigation and analysis, or through specific operating system artifacts that have been picked up. Now, this evidence that have been picked up will also help the security team to answer questions like, what particular action was taken, who took an action, when was an action taken. Now, this action represents that event that took place that poses a threat to the security posture of an organization. What action was taken? Where was the action taken? It can also tell us how the action was taken, how the breach was taken, how the attack was perpetrated. All right, so we always need the forensics analyst as part of the security team or as part of the incident response team. Going further, there's no way we can talk about forensics or digital forensics generally without talking about Lockhart's exchange principle. Okay, I'm seeing some some expressions. This is a very familiar principle, right? That's fine. So, Dr. Lockhart is a French criminologist, okay, and he actually contributed immensely to forensic science in his time. And then he actually came up with a principle, a very basic principle, which has now been recognized as Lockhart's exchange principle. In his principle, he stated that when two objects actually come in contact, there's always a bidirectional exchange of materials. Now, the entire principle lies on the fact that these objects that come in contact will always leave behind what is known as a trace evidence. For instance now, let's say you come into this room. Somebody comes into this room now. As you are coming in, before you leave, there's something from you that will be left back in this room before you leave, like without you knowing it. Now, this thing could be your scent. That thing that is left behind could be your scent, could be your skin cells. You know, as a human, we actually shed cells. Your fingerprints, your prints could. Many of us, we've left our fingerprints on this level without knowing. Are we together? So that principle holds that when two objects come in contact, there's always a trace evidence left behind. Something from this other object will be left on this one, something from this other one will be left on this one. And then we can actually use those materials that have been left, those trace evidence, to trace to the owner. Are we together? Now, this was actually postulated in terms of a physical crime, where we have a crime scene, a suspect, and a victim. These same principles also applies in the digital world. Are we together? It also applies in the digital world. How is it applicable in the digital world? Okay, how is it applicable in the digital world? Now, let's say a user or an attacker has actually compromised the machine and has access to it. Now, he is there on the machine doing whatever he's doing. By the time he's done compromising the machine or exfiltrating the files he has interest on, there are certain artifacts that he will leave behind, such as the processes that were executed, the command lines that were executed, network connections, network traffic. Are we together? The log entries, definitely the system will generate logs and store. IP addresses, you get files that were modified, all those things are being generated and stored back on that system that was compromised. He may not really go that far to wipe those fingerprints. All right? So you get the point I'm talking about. And then as he's leaving, there are files that he must have picked from the system or data that he must have extracted, which can be traced back to the source. Are we together? So this localized exchange principle actually applies and holds both in the physical forensic scene and the digital space. Now let's talk a little bit about the investigative process. The investigative process of a forensic event. So, when we approach this investigative process, you need to understand that one unique methodology of carrying out an investigative process is not applicable universally. It's not applicable universally. Now, a particular incident that needs a forensic analyst to jump on may actually require a different methodology from another incident. Are we together? But then, there is a generally acceptable investigative process which can be used as a model or a blueprint, and that is the one we have here. It starts from identification. You can see this stage of identification as planning. Are we together? We can see it as planning. It starts by the forensic analyst or the security team recognizing an incident or a crime that has taken place and needs investigation. You can come over here, please. Are we together? Are we together? So not just not just being able to identify a particular incident that needs investigation, but also being able to understand the nature of that incident, the scope of that incident. Not all incidents may actually need a deep forensics investigation. Not all incidents may actually need all that effort. But then once you are able to identify that this particular scene, this particular security incident needs a forensic investigation, you go ahead to do what? To determine the nature and what the scope will look like. And then that leads us to the next stage of preservation. You may ask, why is preservation coming before collection? Before you collect the supposed evidence, you should find a way to preserve the crime scene. Now, I'm using the word crime scene to depict both the system, like the digital space. It could be the system, it could be the network. You need to preserve and ensure that the relevant digital evidence that is involved in that security incident that needs to be investigated is preserved before it is even collected. Are we together? We are together, right? So that's what happens at the preservation stage. You ensure that the relevant digital evidence remains intact and unaltered. So it could involve you taking a snap. We're actually dealing with digital forensics. So it's all about the digital space, our PCs, our network, infrastructures. So you could want to take a snapshot of the device. All right. Now, this snapshot of the device will actually tell us what really happened at that instance. Even if the device is compromised later on, you've already gotten a snapshot of how it worked at that instance. All right. And then we move on to the collection phase or the collection stage, which is the gathering of all identified evidence. So at stage 1 and 2, you must have identified the relevant evidence for the investigation. And at stage 3, you are collecting. Please take note, like I said, it's not compulsory that every scene or security incident must go through these processes. Okay? There are sometimes you may simply jump from 1 to 2, 2 to 3 at once. Okay? Then we have still under the collection stage, there's always the intervention or the partnership with a legal authority. Okay? Because personally, I won't let you come and start doing stuff on my PC without a legal, something to show that you are actually licensed to do this, or there's a legal authority behind the whole process. So that is where the legal authority or the legal backup falls in. And then we have the examination stage, where we pay close attention or inspection of the collected evidence. And here, at this stage, we are actually extracting meaningful information from the evidence that we collected, and from the information we've gathered, we are building an hypothesis. All right? So at the end of the day, our analysis, which is the next stage, is to actually prove what we had in our hypothesis, whether this is what really happened or not. All right, so at the analysis stage, we are actually correlating all the extracted data, and then, just like I said, what we come up with at the end of the analysis will either support or refute our hypothesis. Are we together? Yes. Okay. And then we have the presentation and decision stage. So at this point, the security team are able to communicate their findings, they are able to evaluate, and if it needs prosecution, the people, the body that are in charge of prosecution will simply need to step in and do the needful. So these are the stages that are involved in investigative process. So we have the identification, preservation, collection, examination, analysis, and the presentation or decision stage. Moving forward, yeah, okay, sure, sure, you are free.
For the presentation, for the preservation,
Yeah,
it depends on the exhibit.
yeah,
Yes, so there are different types of preservation.
yeah, okay,
You have to preserve based on the type of exhibit you have.
sure,
Yes. And
okay,
for the collection, we have different document processes
yeah,
in terms of the legal proceedings. Even the owner of the device, they
yeah,
have to fill in a consent form.
exactly,
Yes.
okay,
And the evidence processing form by the analyst,
yeah,
the chain of custody,
yes,
the
has to be involved.
handling, yes, handing over receiving of such exhibit, you
Yeah,
have to sign, date it, and all that. Then for the examination, there are different types of extraction.
okay,
You can have logical, which is at the surface,
okay,
aside deleted content.
sure,
Then when you go to the physical extraction method,
yeah,
these are deleted contents. You know they are very smart. They
yeah,
want to delete.
sure, sure,
Even
sure,
though you have some metadata, but you can still extract, retrieve deleted contents.
yeah,
We
yeah,
have file system extraction, so all those encrypted hidden
files, yeah,
yes, information. We also have cheaper forensics in case it's broken. You
sure,
can now use the knowledge of engineering to
put it back
now
together.
apply them to be able to extract storage and
Right, so I have a question.
analysis. There are different
Okay,
methods of analysis.
yeah, yeah,
Filtering,
mm-hmm,
watchlisting,
yeah,
tagging, and all that, so that it will be relevant for the user, the
sure,
decision maker.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, you have to have, if this is important, if this is the proof,
mm,
say if this is suspicious, so that it will guide those that will actually use it, either in the court of law or for decision making,
making,
for the presentation. Okay, the analysis, of course, you have to use the checksum also.
sure, sure, sure,
To ensure integrity.
integrity,
Else, it thrown away from the court of law.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you need to ensure
I think
integrity.
that integrity, it comes in my slide. It comes, I think it also applies. Yeah, I think it also applies from preservation because when we preserve the original state of the evidence, we want to ensure that what we are working with at the final stage corresponds with what we had originally.
Exactly.
Sure.
Nothing is altered.
Nothing is altered.
Yes.
So I want to ask, where does
The presentation in the court of law for the prosecution, you have to make sure that the information you have gathered so far is material
okay,
to that case.
Hmm.
Is relevant.
relevant, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, where does the level of volatility comes into play? You know, we have several, for instance, now on the machine, on a PC now, there are certain evidence that you may want to extract, but then if you delay, it's lost. For instance, our RAM is the content of the RAM is always very, very volatile. So volatility there comes in where, whereby you actually identify the evidence that needs to be acted upon immediately before it is lost. For instance, now if I shut down this machine, everything on my RAM is gone. Okay, so order of volatility also plays. So
Once you start the process, you can't even stop.
you can't, yeah, yeah.
You have to go through.
So you must say something.
Your point, I was following.
Okay.
I feel this for this volatility. That's why when most hackers, like when they are about to arrest them, they always make sure like let the person's system, let the system be on.
On trials, okay.
Because most hackers they have kill switch.
Okay.
So from what I've studied, they always try to create a distraction. Like,
Okay.
in a way to separate the hacker from the system without the hacker being able to hit that key switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I think before extraction, there's what you they have the
Yeah.
background working also
If you
to
give the hacker
prevent
one
you from
minute,
extraction. You know, there's internet. You have to stop. You
To
understand?
disconnect the device from internet completely,
Like for
right?
phone, you have to put it on flight mode.
Okay.
You understand what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that there won't be incoming messages or
Anything
internet,
to interfere.
anything to interfere. Because they may even send in destructive.
that's the kill switch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That means that for system, that the BitLock.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a system, right? BitLock. Yes, BitLock. That's right.
Okay. That's very, very interesting. That's very interesting. All right, so let's talk a little bit on cryptography. We actually have 3 topics to talk on today. Being that this is our final or our last session, we have 3 topics to dwell on. Let's talk on cryptography. It's actually a very popular topic as long as security is involved, confidentiality is involved. So there's no way we can do without it. So here I said that cryptography is the practice and study of techniques for securing communication and information by transforming that information or transforming that data into a format that is unreadable by someone who doesn't have the authority to access it. Okay? Are we together? Please. So in simple terms, cryptography is like a secret code system, right? A secret code system for our data, for our communication. So it makes your information unreadable to anyone who doesn't have the key to decode it. In fact, in general, cryptography is, when we are talking about confidentiality, integrity, and availability, that is where cryptography, encryption comes into play, whereby we use that to maintain confidentiality. Apart from confidentiality, do you think there is another aspect of the triad, the security triad that encryption has to contribute to or affect? Do you understand my question? Apart from confidentiality, we have confidentiality, integrity, authorization. So I'm specifically saying that cryptography applies when we are talking about confidentiality, right? So my question is, does it apply somewhere else? Is there any other aspects of security you can think of where we can apply cryptography? Okay. 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 Yeah, yeah. I'm still listening. If it's authorization, yeah, expand. Make it convincing, yeah. Okay.
If I send you some video
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Sure. That's non-reputation. Sure. Sure. Do you know that there is a school of thought that says that the concept of the CIA triad should be expanded to 5, not just that 3 again. So apart from confidentiality, integrity, availability, we now have authorization and non-repudiation. Okay. Okay. Now, is there a difference between encryption and hashing? It's still under what we are talking about. Do you think there's a difference between encryption and hashing? There is. There is. So while encryption actually ensures confidentiality. Hashing ensures what? The integrity of the file or the data or information that we have. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's move further. So under cryptography, we have cipher. Now, we said that cipher is a method of transforming this data that we want to make confidential, okay, to keep it secure from unauthorized access or unauthorized people from accessing it. It involves the use of algorithms to encrypt or decrypt messages, making them unreadable. What's the problem now?
But in this case, one of the no repetition
Why is it not showing on the screen?
The challenge is from them. So non-repudiation is actually very much applicable in blockchain. That's where I say
in
it.
terms of the pillars of cybersecurity, just like to defend
No, non-repudiation can be added to be part of the pillar. Like if you want to make it 5, you need to include non-repudiation. But then I see it most applicable in blockchain, whereby if we're doing transactions, there's no way you can deny that I didn't send you those stuff yet, because it's recorded there on the blockchain already. So the cipher is a method of transforming information to keep it secure from unauthorized access. Basically, it involves the use of algorithms to encrypt or decrypt messages, making them unreadable to anyone who does not possess the key or the method for decryption. There's no way we can talk about cryptography without mentioning cipher, and we have several forms of cipher, the basic ones and the advanced ones as well. Now, the encryption we've been talking about since, which we know is the process that transforms this data into unreadable format. The data in its readable form is the plain text, and once it has been encrypted or transformed to a form that is no more readable by everybody, we now call that the cipher text. Okay, so we have the algorithms, which could be a symmetric algorithm or asymmetric. We will talk about that as well. But one thing you need to know is that the primary goal of encryption is to ensure confidentiality, meaning that only authorized parties can access the original data. And we have the use cases which which includes protecting sensitive information during transmission over the network. Of course, if our data being transmitted over the network is not encrypted, is not made confidential, then we'll have our data being accessed, being read, being intercepted, modified, altered at every point. Okay, that is where we will have the that particular attack that we call man-in-the-middle attack. It's not that common again because of encryption, confidentiality. But it doesn't mean that it's not still possible. But it will require a whole lot of technology to decrypt an encrypted data. So we have encryption used to protect our sensitive information while it's being transmitted. We have it whereby we use it to ensure that our files on our disk, on our cloud storage, are encrypted and secured, and also for ensuring privacy in communications like on our WhatsApp, Telegram, our social media and stuff like that. We have encryption being applied for privacy. Let's talk about symmetric cryptography, which is also known as secret key cryptography, right? And you say that it is a type of encryption where the same key is used both for encryption and decryption. Okay? In most of the time, that is most of the encryption algorithm that is being used on our, like on a day-to-day processes on our technology is usually this symmetric. But in order to transmit this key from one party to the other, meaning that it's the same key, we use asymmetric cryptography to ensure that. Okay? Now, The symmetric cryptography is used for both encryption and decryption of data, and it relies on the secrecy of the key to ensure that only authorized parties can access the information. Now, this key must be shared between the sender and the receiver in a secure way. In fact, very, very important. The only, let me not say the only aspect where we use asymmetric, but it is very, very, let me say it's mostly used for transferring or sharing of these symmetric keys, the asymmetric cryptography algorithms. So some of the widely used symmetric encryption algorithms include the advanced encryption standard. I really need this to be on the screen. The advanced encryption standard, commonly known as AES, that's the one we use most, and we have several versions of it, the 128-bit, the 192-bit, the 256-bit. Okay, do we have 512 bits currently? I don't think so. But we have 128, 192, and 256 bits. So the longer the bit, the more secure the algorithm is. And then we have the data encryption standard, DES. These are examples of symmetric encryption algorithms, but then the DES is actually considered less secure currently. DES is less, secure currently due to its vulnerability to brute force attacks, and we have 3DES, that's the triple DES, which is an enhancement of DES that applies the same algorithm 3 times for increased security. It's still DES, the data encryption standard, but the whole process of encryption is done 3 times just to make it more secure. Okay. And lastly, before we get into the labs on cryptography, let's talk about asymmetric cryptography, also known as the public key cryptography. The public key cryptography. So we say that this particular cryptography algorithm uses 2 distinct keys. 2 distinct keys, the public key and the private key. Now, the public key is always used for encryption. The public key is never used for decryption. It's always a private key that is being used for decryption. But when you are encrypting, you use the public key. The public key can be accessed by anybody, right? But then there is always a corresponding private key. If the recipient doesn't have the corresponding private key, it means that that is not the intended recipient. There's always a corresponding private key for decryption. So the public key is shared openly and can be distributed to anyone. It is used to encrypt data or verify digital signatures. And then the private key is kept secret by the owner and is used to decrypt data which was encrypted using the corresponding public key. All right? So only the correct recipient of the message, the data or information, has the private key that corresponds with the public key that was used to encrypt the data. So let's not dwell on the talking explanations. Let's jump on to labs on the Hack365 Global platform and see how this whole encryption looks like. Okay? Please, I'll need you guys to the platform.
Yeah, we using the Kali or using the...
Anyone is better, both Kali or Windows. You can choose. We can use Windows. So please, once you have logged in, you let me know so I can direct you to the particular category of labs. Are we together? So we'll be working on two labs. One is at the beginner's level, and the second one is at intermediate level. And then we will come back to incident response and see how we demonstrate the process of responding to a security incident. Okay? Are we on the platform? How many of us have an account there? We should all have. Is anybody that does not have an account on Hack365? Oh, you don't have. That means I need to display what I'm doing. Okay. Hack365Global.com. Sorry? Okay, so get into the beginning. The first one is on beginner. So in beginners folder, then intermediate. Oh, this is part global. Okay. Yeah, cryptography. Yes. Oh. Yes, you can access it on your phone. Do you have an account on it? Account already on the platform. Is there a link? Yes, it is. What are you looking for? A link or? No, we can. Yeah, we can do it on the browser straight up. No, this is on the company's website. Just go to. Just open another tab and type 365global.com. Hack365. Hack365. Is it? Yes. Need to log in. No, log in. Yeah, if you know it offhand. Okay. So the category where we have the labs to work on, the beginner category and that of intermediate. Okay, so we'll work on the CISA Cypher challenge. Yes, beginner, yeah. And then we'll also work on mod 26. So for those of us that are not on the platform, you can follow me from the screen. Okay, now to beginners category and then cryptography. Right. So this is Caesar Cipher. We are going to carry out the challenge. Now, Caesar Cipher is one of the earliest known encryption algorithm. And for some of us, like myself, that I was lucky to go to school where they teach us computer computer science from secondary school. We've learned about this over and over. So it's not a new algorithm, it's one of those basic encryption algorithms. All right, so let's carry out this challenge before we move to something more difficult. Let's view the task. I know. I've not even moved the system, it's just waiting. If not that you need it online, I would have just copied that. Let me ensure the problem is solved. So please, if you are there, let's look into the task description. It says, what is the decrypted text of the given text in that space? You can see it there. And then it says that you are to work with a shift of 5. You are to work with a shift.
What do you mean by a shift of 5?
Yeah. That is the key. That is the key for the decryption. So remember I said that the key may be a password, the key may be a method. So now in this case it is a method. Now when we say shift of, let me explain how the Caesar cipher works. Probably you don't have the background knowledge. This is how it works. It makes use of the English alphabet, A to Z, right? So the operation behind it is that when you are given a shift, let's say a shift of 5, a shift of 3, 4, 10, if the character like this, for instance, we have letter H. Let's assume this is what is given. You have letter H. If the shift is 5, you are to replace this letter H with the letter that falls 5 places after letter H. And that's it. That's the lab we are working on. Yes? Okay. So are you still with us? So for instance, sorry, it's not been. Is there anything like a marker? I can just write it here since we don't have a board. If you have a board around. Okay, I actually need something to write with. Sorry, a moment. Alright. So the given text is YMJ space capital V ZHP capital GWTBS. Okay. Are we together?
No.
Okay. Unfortunately, since we cannot display this, but if you have it on your screen, fine. We've been given an encrypted text, right? And the text is YM, capital Y, small m, small j, as a word, space, capital G, small w, small t, b, and s. Is that what you're seeing on your screen?
Yes.
I actually made a mistake. That's why I asked that what you're seeing on the screen. YMG. Then we have VZHP. NHP. Yeah. All right. So applying Caesar's algorithm, we've been given the decryption key, which is a shift of 5. So how do we do this? I want us to do it manually. There are tools for this anyway, but I want us to do it manually before we use the tool for the second one. Are we together? Okay, so let's start with the first word, YMJ. Decrypting it with a shift of 5 will give us what? Okay. That falls on D, right? All right, so the first letter there is D. Right, so M will fall on what? And then J. All right, so who can give me the complete decryption at once? You will now go back. You continue from A. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like now that you just stop it of why is the first word? You start counting from Z, 5 places. From Z, yes, 5 places. Where the 5 4? Z, A, B, C, follow.
Then M.
5.
Yeah, you count 5.
Again, the 5.
Yes, yes. So we are applying the shift of 5 to all the letters.
M, right? Then we start with M. M.
You've disconnected. It's what on your system?
This Y now, starting from Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you count backwards. Yes, you count backwards.
Okay. All right, thank you. So we have where to supply the answer. So once we get the answer, we supply here and move on. I'm still waiting. Have we been able to decrypt it completely?
We'll still continue with DZ and the rest.
Yes. But Okay, this is a difference. It doesn't have the basic one. Have you gotten everything?
Yes.
What do you have?
Sorry,
DRO
Yes, space
AESM
AEF
AES
AES
MU
M.
U U
Oh,
then LB
Space.
sorry.
AESMU together.
DRO
Then
space.
space AESMU
Okay, and then
and then LBY
LBY.
GX.
Let's test if your answer is correct. DR capital DRO capital AESMU space capital LABYGS. This is what you got, right?
What? What's that?
LB not A. LB. There's no LB.
This is his own answer.
What did he get?
So I want to test if he is correct.
Okay, I got
Yes.
DRO, DRO,
Okay.
AESMU, right?
Correct.
Then LBYGX.
What of the space? You didn't count the space.
No, you don't need to count. No, you don't count the space. This is what we tell whether you got it or not. Once we submit it.
I've submitted it already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
see
don't correct.
it here.
Oh,
Is that what you got?
Yes.
So you are not correct.
Is it different from what I
It's
said?
different from what
Yeah. Wait.
But you're all correct.
let's
What do you have?
to give our own, maybe you made one mistake in one. Let's put our own.
Okay, yeah. Read it out.
Okay, DR
DR.
O
Okay, space.
DR, yes. Okay, there's space.
Yeah.
Okay, DRO, there's space.
Yeah.
AE,
Then AE,
Okay.
SMU,
SMU.
there's space.
Yes.
LB, YGX.
LBYGX.
Yeah, G, yeah.
LBYG.
LBYGX.
No, not S or X.
Okay, okay.
X.
Let's submit.
Ouch.
What's happening?
You didn't consider the space. Really,
The space is.
No.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any omission?
Okay. Let's do this. So actually, the answer is supposed to be a readable sentence, something that makes sense. You get? It's supposed to be something that makes sense.
Okay, something that has meaning.
Yes, something that has meaning.
I use the AI to speak.
Sorry?
I use
AI master.
No, John, where? Sharp, sharp. Sharp, sharp.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, let's impute.
I say
Quick brand. Quick.
brand. But I don't know if it's correct.
Quick brand.
Brand.
Sorry.
Brand. DRO.
Okay. Brown.
This is not AI. This is AI.
you can do something from it. The way it's arranged, that is really key.
The second lab is still similar to this, but that one is called what, 13.
This one can we rectify before moving
Yeah, no, we are not moving forward. I'm still waiting for us to give the correct answer.
But is that you? Enter with that one.
Then I know that it's supposed to give a meaning.
Yeah.
Yes. More like an instruction
This is no
or an information.
Yeah.
except
I think we did it the wrong way.
Okay, let me see. What is there?
We are able to count it backwards.
See, after getting
That was right.
X, you have to
We are able to count
The
it
quick grab.
backwards.
Okay, let me see.
backward
Yes.
from
We started, we did it forward.
Okay, supposed to be backward.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is where we have the quick brown as the answer. That's when you count it backward, that's where you have the quick brown as the answer. But where you got the answer, didn't it explain?
Come and
But
sit.
the convention,
Come and sit.
the way questions are given, they give you direction when to count forward, backward.
Probably they expect you to know that if it's a positive number, it should be counted backwards.
It's possible.
Yeah, number 5, you know. Then if it's like -5, or you should count this other direction.
I'm getting meaning now.
This is as if I will shift 5. You shift each letter 5 steps backward.
Like, when you are selecting, you count it backward.
In backward.
Backward.
That was the also.
Yeah. So it makes sense now.
Yes. Don't tell me. I want to say it.
Okay, so for those of us that have already gotten the answer, we will still wait for you, ma, or you'll meet us on the way.
So that's the backwards. What do you do with this one? Okay, put it down like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Backwards.
5.
The quick
What
growth.
is it?
The quick
The quick growth.
grown.
That was what I got.
G is brown. Brown. Look at it.
Look at it, it's brown.
It's brown.
Brown, brown.
Brown.
Yes.
Which brown?
Ah. Sit here. The quick brown. Hmm. So one more before, one more lab. One more lab. One more lab. One more lab. So that was at the beginner's level. You see, it's very simple and straightforward. Let's go a step higher now to intermediate. Cryptography. So we are starting with mode 26. This one will be more like a take home. You can do this one by yourself. Completed. Well, I need to do it again. All right, so how many of us have heard of this algorithm before? ROT 13. ROT 13.
Okay, for alphabet, is it the same thing? Meaning for numbers.
For CISA,
Is it should go to what?
no, CISA cyber doesn't work with numbers.
Okay, means the number has to repeat itself.
Yes, the numbers remain.
Okay, so this rules has to be used.
Sir,
Yes,
how do you get to this place?
so step out from the beginners and have you step out to intermediate?
Yes, yes.
Then scroll down to cryptography. Select cryptography. And then mode 26. Okay.
companies on social is still
So which one are we?
Intermediate.
Under
Still on
intermediate,
cryptography?
yes, still on cryptography.
Okay, now we are going to also count 1 to 3.
So let me, it's similar to CISA Cipher, but this one is similar to the previous one we did before. But you are counting 13 places. Rotary, or is it rotation? But it's shortened to ROT, 13 places. So for each of the characters here, for each of the English alphabet character, right, you are to move it or replace it with an English character that is 13 places away. Now, one thing about this algorithm is if you apply it twice, it will take you back to the original, or it will take you back to the ciphertext that was given.
You apply it twice.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, A to Z is 26.
Yes.
So the first one is 13 places. If you do it again, it goes back to the original one. So this should be simple and straightforward, just that we have plenty characters to replace.
Now it goes back to the original ciphertext.
Yeah, do it once. Don't apply it twice.
No, if you do it twice. it
Yeah.
goes back to the original
If you do it twice, it will still give you back what you had here. Okay, so
I think that's also this is the
Actually, how come I? So
Back
the
on
arm
key.
now, I will
Yeah.
start counting backwards.
no, not backwards, forward.
Forward.
Forward, yes. Forward.
How can you
No.
know forward?
No. For cipher is backward. But
Okay, this is not safe.
this is not cipher, yeah. This is rot 13.
No 13, okay. No 13 is forward.
Rot 13, sorry. ROT.
So now this one, I'm counting 13
Places.
places. Oh. That's used for this one now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
this
so
is much.
it's much, right? Let's use this tool for it. But it's good to understand how to do it manually. Let's use a tool for it. So if you come to Cyberchef, I don't want to stress you.
Application of
Cyberchef,
this one. Cyber check.
yes.
You go online, go easy.
It's online. It's online. So once you on your browser, simply type cyberchef.io. Right? It's one of those online tools we use for encryption, decryption, encoding, and decoding. Right?
I-O.
Yes, cyberchef.io.
Chef.
Chef. So,
Then for this no 5, right?
rot 13.
No 13.
Rot 13.
No 13.
Yes. All right, so the text that was given on the lab here, what you need to do is simply select and copy it, and then come to Cyberchef. On the platform, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 panes. So this is for input. This is for output. This is where you select the algorithm you are working with, and this is where you apply the algorithm you are working with. So what we've copied now, you need to paste it here under the input pane. So I'll simply paste. Right.
But have you selected the category?
No, sorry.
Have you selected the category? Because their heads, they are.
The algorithm, right?
Yeah.
No. So here, I wish this place will show well.
Yeah.
If you just select on that search, you type ROT13.
Okay.
ROT13.
Which
Right.
one do you copy? The first one?
The ciphertext that was given to us, the entire line there. See it here. See what I copied here. Right. So once the algorithm that you are looking for or the operation you are looking for pops up like this, you drag it out to here. You drag it out to here. Okay. Yes.
To the input or the recipe?
To the recipe. So here you can actually decide to rotate numbers or not rotate numbers. But let's work with the default settings first. So you see, rotate lower cases has been checked. Rotate upper cases has been checked. Let's allow the numbers to remain and see how that will play out. So by default, it has given us this output, right? So using ROT13 operation and applying it here, this is what we have. Sysec, and then we have next time I'll try 2 rounds of ROT13, and we have some Hebrew words there. This? ROT13. ROT13. Yes, 1 and 3.
Okay, this is what the cyber text means.
Yes.
Plain text.
This is the ciphertext and this is the plain text.
Yeah.
So we've been able to decrypt it to this. Yes. Using this algorithm that we dragged out and placed here. Yes. Have you heard of base64 encryption before? Oh, sorry, encoding algorithm, it's not encryption, encoding. Base64. Yes. Okay. There are several encoding algorithms that we can work with. And this tool can actually help us to either encode or decode it. So if I want to encode this output now using a different encoding algorithm, let me see what will happen. So this is not part of the lab, but I just want to show you what else we can do. So if I copy this output now, you see, and I make it to become my input, paste. Let me delete this guy. I want to encode this text using base64, for instance. Right, so I want to encode it into base64. Base, BASE. It's just that, yeah, this stuff is not showing well. BAS E64. So selecting to base64. Whatever I supplied here as the input has been transformed or encoded to what we have here. Now, how would you, if you see a text like this, why I'm showing you this, when we start phishing analysis, there are some encodings that we come across. For example, if it is an email that is meant to phish the recipient, like a phishing email attack. Now, during the course of our analysis as cyber analyst or whatever you call yourself, right? You may come across where this encoding is applied, right? So for you to identify that the encoding algorithm is base64, always look out for an equality sign at the end.
2 equals 3.
No, 1. You say, okay, sometimes it could be 2, sometimes it could be 1, but there is always an equality sign at the end. You can see? Sorry, but just know that there is an equality sign at the end, irrespective of how long it could be. at the end, there's always an equality sign. That's how you identify that it's a base64 encrypted stuff. And it combines capital letters, small letters, and numbers, right? So now, given this, let's say I am given this ciphertext, which is in base 64, and I want to decode it. I want to decode it still using this same tool. I'll come to where I have the operation, but this time around, I'm not going to select to base 64. To base 64, I'm going to select from base 64 because it is already encoded in base 64. So I want to decode it from base 64. So I'll select from base 64 here, drag it out and apply it here. And then it has been applied. We have the plain text again. You get? We will use this tool. So I'm just using this to sample what. There are more and more. Yeah. So there are more. Like if you say HTML encoding, that one makes use of percentage symbols and numbers as well. Sorry, URL encoding is what makes use of numbers. So most of the time, if you see a ciphertext that contains percentage in between, it's usually a URL. We call it, the encoding algorithm there is URL encode. You will have something like percentages here in between. And for HTML code, it will look different as well. You'll find things like numbers in between the letters. HT. So look at this. If you come across a ciphertext that looks like this, remember, you want to see how to identify them, which encoding algorithm is used. This is for HTML entity, and it's one of those ones that I use so often in websites and emails. No, this is HTML entity. The one that has percentage sign is for URL encoding. Yes, URL encoding. So here you will see mostly semicolons, the ampersand. You get semicolons and ampersands being used here and there. Those are the things you look out for to know that, oh, this encoding is HTML entity encoding, and it will help you to decode it. There are several. That base 64, we have semicolon and ampersand. Are we together? For HTML entity encoding. There are more of percentage symbols. Okay, so I'm done with this. So let's go back to our.
Is there any website or anything used for this kind of identification?
Like a tool that will easily look at it and tell you that this is the encoding, or a resource. Well, there is no one I know of apart from Cybercheck. But with Cybercheck, you need to be the one to tell. Apart from base 64, we have other bases. So sometimes you need to keep checking, trying till you get the one that decrypts it or decodes it. Yeah, we have base 128, apart from base 64. Yeah, we have other ones. Right, so
Just like in the physical, you have different accessories of extraction.
sure,
coding and
sure, sure.
cables.
Let's jump into incident response. And this will be one of the most interesting parts now. All right, so when we talk about incident response, it's all about the process. It's first of all, it is a structured process. It's not just anyhow something. It's a structured process that helps an organization to do what, to detect and respond or even recover from a cyber attack. All right, so we want to learn about incident response and see how the incident response life cycle is applicable in a real life scenario. Are we together? Are we together? All right, so first of all, incident response is a structured process organizations use to do what? First, to detect. Secondly, to respond to, and then recover from a cybersecurity incident, such as malware infections, data breaches, insider threats, or system compromise. Then, in simple terms, we say that it is how an organization handles an attack or a security incident from the very start to the finish. And this is where our incident response plan comes into play as well. Are we together? Please, I need our mind back. Our minds should be here. Okay. Now we are going to have a case scenario whereby we want to respond to a phishing email attack. So, in the course of responding to this phishing email attack, we want to see how the entire incident response lifecycle applies at each step. First of all, the first step here is, all right, before we jump into the life cycle, let me lay a good foundation on what phishing email attack looks like. Or do we have contributors? Can somebody tell me, apart from what I've stated here, that a phishing attack occurs when an attacker sends a deceptive email to trick a user into clicking a malicious link, entering credentials, or downloading malware? How else can you identify a phishing attack? Apart from the definition.
Or when they send you a link, the head of the month, salary, your experience salary, now send you a link that you should go and take a loan. If you get a loan this time, you just put your head down automatically.
You don't expose yourself with that. Yeah, that is a very good one. Okay, quickly, before we come back to this life cycle, look at this. Now, when we are referring to phishing, 4 things are involved, or the purpose of the attacker can be categorized into any of this. Probably to impersonate somebody, an organization, an individual, a partner in business, or to steal some sensitive information from you, like what he said. Once you put in your name, he has gotten your name from the back end. Could be passwords, could be credit card numbers, could be any sensitive information that he needs from you. The purpose could be to deliver and install a malware. Yes, this has happened to me before, though I almost fell for it. This is what happened. Let me use it to explain what happened. I wanted to download a movie from this popular platform. What was the name? What was the name? No, not Movie Box. No, not Net Ninja. Something. The name starts with N. It's very popular though. Sorry, most of us we watch Netflix. That was before I subscribed to Netflix. Not Netflix. Not Netflix. I think I can easily bring it out on my browser. It's a common platform. Inkiri, yeah, Inkiri. Inkiri movies.net. You know the platform, right? It's one of the popular platform. Inkiri, 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 Nkiri.
Most of these free, they normally embed in malware.
So how did it come? Not the movie file was actually legit, so not the file itself. What happened was, that platform runs ads. Once you load the platform, you'll be seeing ads here and there. So probably you need to cancel the ads. When you click on something, ads will come up, all those stuff. So what happened was, when I clicked on the download, something popped up like captcha, the normal captcha now that we used to verify whether we are humans or not. Exactly, it looked like that. But what happened was that it wasn't a legit one. It wasn't a genuine captcha to verify myself. So I clicked on it, trying to verify. When I clicked on it, I didn't know that behind the scene, that I am copying some malicious code. Like, what I'm seeing is not copy. Like, the statement there is not copy. The statement is, click this to verify you are human, right? And I clicked on it. But behind the scene, I have copied a malicious code to my clipboard. To my clipboard. You get? So once I clicked on that, another page loaded up. It gave me another instruction that I should go to the Windows, let me see. Sorry. Yes, this one environment. How many of us have used something like this before? This is the Windows 1 environment. The instruction there was, I should go to the Windows 1 environment. Forget about what you're saying here. Let me take it out. That I should, in fact, it did not even tell me to go to Windows 1 environment. It said I should click on Windows R. And Windows R is what brings up this thing. That was the instruction. Then the next instruction was click on Control V to paste. And I was like, are these people trying to use my head? So when I did Windows R, this came up. And I saw the next instruction as Windows V. Control V to paste. I was now wondering, that is to paste now. I said, okay, let me paste. I pasted. I wanted to see what would happen. Then I pasted when I ran Control V, something was pasted. That was when I knew that when I clicked the first one, something was copied behind the scene into my clipboard. I pasted it. The code was very long, so my cursor was at the end. Meaning, now at the end there, I'm just seeing numbers. It looks so non-suspicious. But I said, no, let me take the cursor to the beginning to see the beginning of this command. And behold, when I took the cursor to the beginning, I now saw some Windows PowerShell commands that will actually download, it will make a request to a particular site and download certain files into my system. And I was like, what the fuck? Because if I had actually continued to, after that Control V, the next instruction was to click on Enter. And if I had clicked on that Enter, that would have been me executing that command. You get? It was as simple as that. That was how I would have compromised my mission. Because I don't know what kind of files would have been downloaded to my system behind the scene. But then I cleared it off, but I still went on to download the movie because the movie was my interest. So that is a way whereby we can be phished using certain instructions that is just there on the screen for us to obey.
I hope all these acts, they don't have it to these acts that we are watching to.
The owners of the platform,
All these Korean
movies, right?
shop clips.
The owners of the platform may not even be aware that such things is there. They may never be aware. So their intent is always to deliver and install a malware through URLs, suspicious or malicious URLs, or via attachments, and at the tail end to exploit humans. We know that humans are actually the weakest link in security. Once I'm able to hack your brain, your mindset, I have access to whatever you are securing. We regard humans as the weakest link in security. So basically, this is what social engineering is all about. to exploit the human psychology, the human emotions, how we think, how we react. You know that if we should send you an email that needs your instant attention, I state what will happen. If you don't do it, you will want to do it, you will react to it, and end up giving out information you are not supposed to, unless you are well informed. You get? Right, so let's go on. Sorry, let's go on.
And again, these phishing people, they
Yeah.
also use, what I would also say, they also use well-known means, like for instance, phishing. You know, like a few days ago, if I go on Facebook, I'll just see, yeah, look at him now. Come and please, come and do this. I'll just look at this and say, who will kill me? And there are people that will fall for it. There are people that
fall for it.
That will just
Yeah.
and go with friends, you know, they pay. They don't
Exactly.
want to invest in you. They will just pay and do, and they feel that, look, where did the girl sell it? I don't be slow, they will go and those are,
It happens.
and those people, they use well-known sources. Radio. Now, time when you're listening to radio, like from years ago, I went to buy a piece of land. I went to the radio and said, they were telling me that so person that is on air personality. I said, what's my business on the air personality? The person have a question more than me. Not that I asked the guy, the person have a question, who is the person? I said, I beg, I had to go to that place. And you know, years later, as I'm in Abuja here, that's where that land is in dispute. The government has come to take it. Like, but the agent, the real estate couldn't buy from the government. They just go to small distance and do it. So I just think that I help with it. And they are dragging themselves for life.
Everything is what I say.
They use all those celebrities, all those.
It's like making you, like, how do I put it?
Making
So
you
attractive offers.
yes.
You know, your adrenaline will be running.
All those pictures of it, doesn't just come.
Okay.
From well-known sources.
We will use that example as well. We want to see where it falls in here. So, how does phishing work? Most of the time, they actually craft the attack, the phishing attack, in a way that will depict some form of authority. So here, they want to spoof someone legit, probably a company that is into real estate, right? To get to bait on you to come in and buy a plot of land or whatever. So they could actually spoof an executive, spoof managers, or spoof but this actually applies within an organization where there is employee to employer relationship. The employee will always respond to the executive's email, their boss' email. So if actually crafts a phishing email that looks like it's coming from your boss, and you don't pay attention to the content, you don't verify it, you could actually fall for this. So you need to look out for, is it depicting some form of authority? Most of the times, a phishing email will be crafted to depict this. And then we have trust. Now, trust here has to do with customers, your partners, your business associates. Okay? So if it is spoofed to, if the email is crafted to spoof your customers, your banks, or your partner, they are trying to depict this trust.
For
Yeah.
instance, my cousin,
Okay.
he's my senior brother, he will never ask me for money. One day I just woke up and early morning Saturday night. I just saw, I did just transfer to 45K to this account.
Was it on WhatsApp?
It's on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Just because of I know him.
Okay.
Because it's somebody that I cannot say no. But I cannot count that. I say, this man cannot, this guy is on money, not this the person.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
there are people that when his WhatsApp was hacked, they don't go fair for it. A lot of things they fail for
This
it.
happened to me last week.
A lot of people, because of that, that's where the trust.
Yeah.
Send transfer. That's what they just put up.
Mm.
The game last day, first day. I know the game very well. I know how that my son did so this is so. After for this game, my elder brother senior brother is also like where he was the guy is multi-billionaire. He says it's the same format. And I asked him to send a account number. Account number was 110 before I knocked on the guy. He now said that
He's not
they
here.
hacked it.
Oh.
And I also caught that because they even hack this thing.
Ah.
Yeah,
So that's where the trust.
It's being depicted.
The last
So,
administration, 200 million was stolen through this process. The account manager of one big politician was hacked. And through that account, he now gave the instruction to the account manager to transfer 200 million to his related account.
wow.
I think that will fall under authority.
Yeah, that authority.
That it falls under authority, yes.
So she now did. So when the man came to reconcile his account, he saw the transfer now passed. Because he got the alert. Was this transfer? I say yes. She now showed proof. That yes, you sent me email that you transfer the account to Susu. At that time, the attackers had moved on.
They have moved sharp. Was it through email? Through an email. It was through an email.
It was an email.
Wow. So that is a very good example. There's a way we would have actually looked into that email to know if truly it's coming from the authorized person. All right. So as a normal person, as a normal user, just like the victim there, or he just look at the content of the email. But there's a way you can look into the header, the headers of the email. Now, it's not always displayed inside the email content. We're going to see that. But let's finish with this. So sometimes a phishing email can be crafted to depict intimidation. Here, it will instill a sense of fear of consequences. If you don't do this, this is what might happen. You get most people, especially the ones that are being crafted by fake account managers, that your account is your BVN or your account has been blocked. You should do. And we also have the one that depicts social proof. And here it will validate legitimacy through consensus.
Like that, I'll tell you that I learned something.
Yeah.
Online
Yeah. And also, they can also present somebody that must have bought a land from them just to convince you.
Or they have like, for instance, sometimes if you go to, I'm taking some courses online, you just see what I was like. You just when you go on under the comments, you will not see, this course was fine, this course was this course was this. But then you look at it, but then you not start taking the course, like say you're going like 20 minutes to the course. You just see that the course was not really.
That's
compensive. I said, what? And I found out later I will now go and check those comments. You see that those comments are from there. When you look at their first course, the second course, in fact, that's the same kind of. So maybe they just put that stuff, they just spam it out, maybe like 10 of them will just. This course is best. So from there, that's how they get the social proof to get you to buy it.
Yeah, to get you to buy it.
Because you say, this person has paid, this person has paid. So
exactly.
It is legit, let's pay.
Exactly. That's how it's also crafted to work. Social engineering. And then some are crafted to depict urgency. We have scarcity and familiarity.
Is that not like grants?
Sorry?
Like grants?
Grants? For which one? Urgency.
Yes. The government is.
Exactly. Act now. They will try to make you act, hurry up, do it immediately, else you are going to lose out. And then scarcity. When we were having scarcity of cash, people fell for this a lot. I had a friend who somehow was fished of some money. He lost some money through this process. And then familiarity, established credibility through recognition. Familiarity and trust seem to overlap, but then we can have examples that work separately. All right, so in the case of, you want to say something? Okay.
I watched a video like that.
Okay.
That though it's all these online videos.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
That the adult can now need a video call.
Okay.
That she's stranded at the airport.
Okay.
That they should send so money for her so that she can have it. And because of what they demanded at the airport with them.
Okay.
So they should send some money to her. So while they were about sending the money, the daughter now enters the house.
Okay.
She now like announcing herself. And meanwhile, they're still talking
Still on
to
the
the daughter. You know, this AI, like AI. Yeah. So is that not familiarity?
Yeah.
See someone that you know.
Then that's why I said familiarity and trust. Now, the parent that we're talking with the daughter, they trusted that it's actually their daughter. She's the one they are having the video call with. So the trust is not just for customers, banks, and partners. Also falls among friends, colleagues. So that is the downside of AI,
Yes,
using for
AI.
impersonation.
Exactly, impersonation.
Okay, so let's go back to our incident response. I wanted us to have a good understanding of what phishing is all about. All right. So this is a typical case whereby an organization has been hit with a phishing email attack, and actually the victim has. Are we together? The target has fallen for it. So how will the security team, how will the incident response team handle this scenario? How will they contain it? All right. So following the incident response life cycle, we have preparation as the first stage. So before an incident even happens, we want to believe that these setups must have been put in place. Remember, the other day I talked about proactive measures and reactive measures. The steps here within the preparation stage is part of the proactive measures that must be taken to prevent an attack. Yeah, so this involves awareness, training employees to spot phishing emails. All right, so those different methods that emails can be crafted to look like is being made known to the employees, that it can come in form of this to depict authority, to depict trust, and all those stuff. So once they're able to see one that contains that, they can easily tell that this is a phishing attack. Now, another step here is deploying email filters, setting up MFA on accounts, multi-factor authentication on the account, having an incident response plan and tools always ready.
Sorry, what are the email filters?
Sorry?
The email filters.
Okay, so email filters here, for an organization that have their on-premises email server. And now most of us now, we are now relying on cloud. Organizations that have their own email server, they have their email domain. Most organizations have their email domain, right? Like as a staff, and I'm working for upgraded era, my email should be something like princeville at era email.com. So on their email server, let's say it is on the physical, on-premise, like physically, the configuration on that email server should be able to filter for phishing attacks, phishing emails that contains malicious links or malicious attachments. The configurations there should be able to filter them. It's more like a configuration. Deploying email filters, or more like a software that runs, more like an application that runs on that server. You get it? So that is how that functions. Setting up MFA on accounts and having an incident response plan and tools ready. This is multi-factor authentication.
Multi-factor authentication.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. And then from the preparation stage, we move on to identification. So at this point, we've been able to identify that this is actually a security incident, one that will compromise the security posture of the organization. So we have an example here. An employee reports a suspicious email that looks like a bank alert, or the SOC detects multiple failed login attempts after the email was opened. Do we still have time? Okay. All right, so we have this example. Now, in a situation like this, you are to look out for indicators of compromise or proofs of compromise. We have IOCs, we have POCs. So irrespective of which one you are working with, indicators of compromise could be things like credentials, which were entered on the login page, unusual login from the foreign IP, or checking other staff email inbox to know if that email was not just sent to one person, or it was targeted on the entire staff of the organization. So you need to check that as well. So if the employee has clicked a link in the email, it means that he has fallen for it, and probably you need to look out for other things that will follow up from there. All right, so let's see it on the next stage, containment. At the containment stage, our goal here is to stop the attack from spreading or causing more damage. Remember, the target has already fallen for it. So we need to see how far has this spread, or what damage can this create for the organization, and then we can actually see what we can do. Under containment, we have short-term containment and long-term containment. Under short-term containment, the first thing you are expected to do is to disable the affected user's account. Disable the affected user's account. And if you are able to pick up the phishing domain, you are to block it or block the URL on the firewall. So this is where, let's say you don't have access to the physical firewall, you can remotely access it. Right? This is where the remote SSH, telnet comes into play. You quarantine the phishing email across all mailbox. That is for the immediate containment of the attack. And then you can actually carry out endpoint analysis. Endpoint analysis is not on this slide, but endpoint analysis is where you start looking into the processes that are running on the system, the network connections, the files that must have been downloaded in the background. You are actually investigating into the physical system now to know if something unusual must have happened when the target fell for that phishing attack. All right, so under the long-term containment, you can move a step to reset the user's password, enforce MFA if it was not enabled, and then, or if it was compromised. MFA is actually compromisable, whereby you use OTP or you are waiting for a code so that you can log in. It's actually compromisable. We have devices, we have technologies to do that. For every new technology that comes up, the bad guys are there to create something. So it's compromisable. And then, if there was any vulnerability that was exploited, there must be a patch. The organization must make a move to patch up the vulnerability in order to prevent such attack from happening again. And then we have the eradication stage. Here, the aim is to do what? To remove all traces of threat. All traces of threat. If a malware was mistakenly installed during that process, you ensure that you have dealt with it. So the actions here include deleting all phishing emails from the mail server, ensuring no malware was downloaded, removing unauthorized login sessions, and checking endpoints for persistence or backdoors. This is achieved during the endpoints analysis that I talked about. How would you know if there was a persistence created? For instance, if your machine is compromised, right? Even if you disconnect it from the internet at that moment, once you plug it back, once you connect it again to Wi-Fi, it still continues. It means that a persistence must have been created. And they normally do that by modifying registry files. If this was an offensive, any other time you connect it again to the internet, as long as that persistence is still there, as long as that configuration is still there, they will still have access to it. For instance, if the registry file is being compromised.
But the thing is that all these options, procedures for like checking endpoint for persistence or backdoors, that means not only that virus, you check the signature blocks or the pop-up issues.
You know how antivirus works, right?
Yeah.
You know how antivirus works.
Yes.
What if it's a malware that the antivirus is not able to detect? You get? So you don't rely on malware to know if it has blocked it or not. In the case of a persistence, it doesn't need the antivirus. Now, antivirus will not be able to detect that particular settings. So what I'm trying to say is, if I'm to exploit this system now, right, and then create persistence such that I can always have access again, I can decide to go to the registry file. There's something we call registry inside the system. Inside the registry, we call it registry hive, actually. Hive, yeah. Inside the registry hive, all the settings, all the configurations that this system is using to keep itself running are stored there. We have about 5 of them, different hives, still under that registry. All right, so once I'm able to actually create persistence, to change the configurations there, each time you reboot your system, I'll still have that connection. Each time you connect to the internet, I'll still have that access. So I cannot demonstrate it now because we are not in offensive class, you get, but it's possible. It's possible. So you need to check for those persistence. Apart from the registry, there are other ways like in Linux we can use in Windows we can use the event task to create persistence apart from the registry hive. All right, so from there we move to recovery. At this stage, our aim is to bring back the system, the infrastructure, the network, and our entire running system to its normal state, whereby everything goes back to life, our normal operation is on. So we enable the user's account with a new password, monitor login activity for like 2 days, 24 hours to 72 hours, that's 2 to 3 days. Then restore any affected systems if the malware was executed. So in a situation whereby the malware was triggered, you can actually restore the system from the backup. This is why we must always have a backup. I'm sure most of us, we've not backed up our system. If your system should crash now and you have very important files that you cannot recover, how would you do? I'm not saying you should buy a hard disk, external hard disk to back it up. You can actually create a backup inside the hard disk you have there inside your system. It's very, very important. So in a situation whereby your system fails or you were updating, you were installing something and the system crashes, you can always force the system to go back and start from the point that you backed up. You get? That's how it works. So that is applicable under the recovery stage, restoring any affected system, and also confirm that the attacker no longer has access with their persistence configurations and backdoors. And then we have documentation. This is where we document what really happened, the lessons that were learned, how the whole scenario was being contained, what we did to mitigate it. So we include it in an incident report, and then we review how the phishing email server was bypassed. We check the updates. Okay, we update email security rules. We provide additional staff awareness training, and then this is very, very important. This part is very, very important. The threat intelligence feeds, whereby you add attacker's domain, their IP address, the indicators to the threat intelligence feed. This will not just help you, but now to help another organization or another security team. In case they come across indicators of this nature, this is what they are supposed to do. This is what is happening. So it's very, very important. All right, so quickly, to drive this entire phishing email analysis and response home, let's do a quick lap on phishing analysis. Okay, let's do a quick lap on this. All right, so the aim of this lab is to help us build hands-on skills in analyzing email headers, the content, and how to trace the senders. So we will also look into the methodology for determining the credibility of an email, and also familiarize ourselves with the tools we use for phishing analysis. So what I want to demonstrate here is beyond just opening the email and looking through the content to detect that it is a malicious email. There are certain phishing emails that are crafted to look 100% like legit ones. You understand? For you to be able to detect that it is a phishing email, you need to go beyond looking at the mere content. You understand? You need to go beyond looking at the mere content. So the instruction here says, you are a SOC analyst at Phantom Security, and the account executive, Daniela, noticed a warning mail in her inbox claiming her online access has been disabled. However, she noticed this as odd as she noticed this as odd, but then she's still able to access her online business platforms and inbox. Then she decided to forward the email in question to the security team's phishing mailbox for review. Using what you've learned now, perform a detailed email analysis on the challenge file I'm going to share. So during the course of our analysis, we had to respond to this question. Okay. All right, so if you are with me, let's go to our Ubuntu machine. Are we still together? Are we still together? Hello?
Yes.
I'm not sure you guys have this file I'm going to work with. I have the file. Should I share with them? Do you have me share with them? Yes, but I can't access my WhatsApp from here. It's displaying on the screen. But anyhow, no problem. Don't worry. I'll do it from here. No need. I'll just they'll look at it from the screen. Okay, guys. So, what I'm about to demonstrate now is very, very practical, right? If you receive a phishing email, right, and you want to forward it to probably someone that you... Sorry too. I'm also apologizing for interrupting. So the scenario here is this: you receive a phishing email, right? But then you are not satisfied with what you've been able to detect. Then you want to forward it probably to Mr. Father for proper analysis. The thing is this: don't just click on that forward button. When you click on that forward button and input his email address and forward the email, the metadata that comes with it will be dropped. And the content of that metadata is very, very important for this analysis, for the analysis it's going to do, right? So what do? You download that email as a .eml file. Are we together? A .eml file. And this is how it will look like. So this example I'm using to demonstrate this is in that format. Let me just show you how do we know how to download email as a .eml file? Let me just show you quickly. .eml. I'm about to expose my inbox on the screen. But no, I have another one, but there's nothing sensitive. There's nothing sensitive. Yeah. All right, so let's say that this is the phishing email sent to me. For example, this is my Gmail account, right? You can access this from your Gmail app. Is it possible from the Gmail app? No, it's not possible from the Gmail app. But I'm going to show you how to do it here. If you log into your Gmail account on the browser like this, and then you've opened the email, right? This email contains malicious stuff or whatever was sent to you. This is how to download it. You simply come to where you have these 3 dots, right? And then scroll down. Sorry, not here. Sorry. Yeah, correct. You can actually use any email. Not any problem. I was using Alison before. I've mistakenly. Let me use this. Let me just use this. So irrespective of what email it is, you want to download it as .eml file. You click on here, I was just trying to avoid displaying any email that is sensitive. You know, we are streaming. All right, so you see where we have this download message. Right. So once you select the download message, the email will be downloaded. Let me just call this ABC. And save it. So I've saved it to my desktop. This is it. See, look at the file type, EML file, right? EML file. So the whole contents of the email and its metadata have been saved into this file, and you can share this to whosoever you want to share for the analysis. You get it? But then if you use that direct method of forwarding on the platform, the metadata will be left behind. It's just the body of the email that will be forwarded. You understand? That's the essence of downloading it first as a .eml file. Yeah, now you can now attach it. Even if you want to send it as an email now, but now as an attachment. Yeah, you'll be able to open. Once this file gets to you, so let me now switch back to my Ubuntu. I have a good sample there that we can work with. All right, so this is the sample email, sample phishing email that we are to work with. You can see it's in the .eml format. So I'm going to open it using Thunderbird.
Can we get
Yeah, I'll share it.
We are opening it now.
Yes, I'm opening the email now. Can I zoom in better than this? Can I zoom? Can I zoom? Can I zoom? Okay. Thank you. Right, so can we see the contents of the email? Now, to the regular user, this is what you see. It's not on the app, right?
Sorry, I was trying to check
Hmm.
on my email
Hmm.
that download message.
Is it the Gmail app you're using?
Gmail, yes. I can see forward.
No, don't use forward. Application on the app. They are still using app. It's not on it's not on the app. That's why I open it on the browser.
Okay.
Yeah.
All on the system.
It's better now that we know it is not here.
Yeah, it's not on the phone app. Okay. All right. So to the normal user, this is what you see. This is what appears to you. All right. So we have the sender info here. The sender here is Outlook support team. This is what you are meant to see. Outlook support team. And this is the email address from which the email appears to come from. And then you have the title, or the subject rather, the subject. Your account has been flagged for unusual activity. Fine. And then looking down, we have the content. Microsoft, action required, account fraud protection. Dear customer, your account has been flagged for unusual activity. To protect your account from unusual activity and fraudsters, we have disabled your online access and all of this. This is what Daniela received. All right? Now, looking at this, you may not actually be able to depict something fishy in this entire content. Sometimes you may be able to detect, sometimes you may not. There are some phishing emails that are crafted to look so good, especially with the help of AI nowadays. But the metadata cannot deceive us. So this is where we go further. All right, so How would you open up this email as an analyst? Let me close this. I'll select on this guy and then I want to open it with an IDE, right? So the IDE that I have here on my Ubuntu is Sublime Text. You can open it with Visual Code. For those of us that have Visual Code, you can open it with Notepad. But the beauty with opening it with an IDE or a coding environment app is it will add some coloration to it. It will make it look nice. If I open this guy with, for instance, the one I downloaded here, this ABC, if I open it up, this is how it looks like. Yes.
This is
On Notepad.
Notepad.
Yeah. But I don't want it to be on Notepad. So here, opening this with Sublime Text, see how it's going to look. All right. So we have access to the metadata behind that email. We want to analyze this. I'm using Sublime Text here. It can be any other any other IDE. VS Code works, yeah. Visual Studio Code works. Which other IDE do we have? Atom works. Yeah. So you're into web development. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. So once you open it with the IDE, now you can see that some of the headers have been given colors, have been marked with colors to make it outstanding for us. Right, so the contents here is what we want to look into. Now, before I proceed, let me show something on the slide. Now look at this. This is what happens when you send an email. This is you at this end, sending an email to the recipient over here. So you have logged into your email account, you have composed the email, and you have clicked on send. Probably you are sending using the Gmail platform, okay? The Gmail domain. So this protocol, the SMTP protocol, which is running inside your app, actually bundles the entire metadata, the text itself, what you've typed, and forwards it to the server, all right? And from here, it will now be routed from one server to another server, from one server to the next server. It goes like that till it gets to the last server on which the recipient's account is on. You get? Now, during the course of its traveling from one server to the next server, these servers are called MTA. MTA. Yeah. Mail transfer agents. Mail transfer agents. So as it is moving from one MTA to the next MTA, there is some form of data or information that is embedded into it. Some form of unique identity as the mail is traveling. You get? In fact, where it is coming from, we can also use this information to tell. So let's go back to the metadata. Now, these headers that you are seeing received, this is the first header we received here. We have another received. Now, leave this one, the one that has SPF. Leave that one. Is there any other one below it? Okay, we have another receive here. So there are about 5. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It means that this mail has routed through 5 MTAs before it got to the recipient. And each time it moves from one MTA, they attach information. So it's more like a sequential, or not sequential, how do we call it? A chronicle way of marking the points from through which that email has passed through. Look at this. The first receive header here tells us that that is the first MTA. The first MTA, where
But that's not the first receipt.
yeah, I know the first is on top. The first, the one on the top, is always the last one, like the last MTA that the mail has passed through before getting to the recipient. So if you want to start from where it came from, you start from the last one here or the one at the bottom. Okay, this is it, yeah. Right, so let me see. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, so it moved from the MTA that supplied this information and went into this other one that supplied this information to this one, and then it continued to the last one. So at each point, this particular information is attached, is embedded into this metadata as the mail is traveling. You understand what I'm trying to say? Fine, that is what those receive header mean. But the information we are looking for are not actually contained there. Let's start looking into the headers one by one. So from here now, we have the date header. Now this date header, okay. The date header here contains the date and time signature, right? When this email was sent. You can say 31st October and the timestamp as well, 31st October 2023, and this should be 10:10 a.m. All right? So that is the information there when this email was sent and probably when it was received as well. But that is what you also see in the body of the email, like what the regular user says at the other end this time as well. And then we have the toe header rather. This is the email to which the mail is sent to. deringer@mightysolutions.net. All right. So let me not point on the screen again, sorry, so that you can see. So we have the toe header there, which shows us the email address which the email was sent to. We have the from header, which tells where the email is coming from. Now, take note of this from header. Take note of this from header. It says social 2015-1113 at social.l1.edu.pg. But then the name attached to the email address is Outlook support team. Normally, a legit email that is coming from Outlook should have its email domain here associated with the name of the company. You get it? It should be associated with Outlook, not all of this. That is the first indicator of compromise we have picked. And then we have the subject header. The subject header actually tells us, it shows the same information that the user will receive at the other end. And then we have the message ID. The message ID here is actually a unique code, very unique code that differentiates this copy of email from other ones. Let's assume this same email has been sent to other users, other staff of the organization. The message ID here will always differentiate one copy of that email from the other. We have the content type. The content type here actually tells the encoding format, if the contents here is being encoded. Now look at this body. This is the body of the email. This is the body of the email. How do we depict the body of the email? From where we have the MIME version. Please take note. From where we have the MIME version. From where we have the MIME version is where the body of the email starts. All of these other parts is the header. The head section of the email from this MIME version downward is the body of the email. What we saw at the other end is not what we are seeing here. And this actually looks like the content has been encoded. So if you want to decode this, you can simply copy this. I will simply copy this to CyberCheck if I want to decode it. But then the question is, how will I know?
That same CyberCheck again?
Yes. The question is, how will I know the encoding algorithm used here? How would I know? You can tell me.
How do you know?
The encoding algorithm.
The encoding
Algorithm, yeah.
When you put it at that, the form of light, that you see the encoding algorithm is on the 64. Content transfer encoding
Yeah.
is 64.
Verse 64, it has been stated that it's verse 64.
Let me see the 64.
Content transfer encoding. Now, base 64 on its own was not created for malicious intent. That's what you need to know. It was created for a purpose like this, whereby emails can be encoded and transmitted. It was for to help in transmitting, smooth transmitting, no problem. But then, attackers now picked up that same algorithm and decided to be using it for something malicious, that they can actually encode their payloads, and it will bypass firewalls, to bypass most of our security implementations, because they actually configured to detect certain malicious keywords. Whereas when you encode those keywords, the firewall cannot pick it up again. You understand what I'm trying to say? So that's how they use this base 64 for malicious intent. But initially, it was not created for that.
Okay, but the content type here are two. One here is a context as text/HTML.
That's the format like .png, .pdf. HTML is like the file, the extension of the file.
That's the text one.
The content type, text,
HTML, text and HTML. It's like PNG. PNG.
Yeah,
Like an
yeah.
extension of PNG.
Sure, yeah.
Like SVG, all this stuff.
Then we now have it that it has been encoded. Like main thing, if you see this, and this is not how text or HTML should look like.
Okay, it means this is encoded.
Yes, it has been encoded, yeah. So looking at this, you have the clue here that is encoded. Once you decode this, it will give you the text or HTML format, the original format, how it should look like. So let's look into the questions we were supposed to answer with.
Okay, it means if you decrypt this cipher text, now you get the original message.
Yes.
Yes. Hold on. Right, so let's look into the questions where we actually meant to
So
answer.
it means if you intercept this email packets now, this is what you get. You get the cipher. You get the cipher text.
The cipher text is,
If you intercept this particular message.
no, we are not intercepting. We are actually analyzing.
Yes, no, I'm talking about the purpose of the 64.
Okay.
Why is it used
For smooth transmission.
for smooth transmission?
Yes. For smooth transmission. So the question here is this. Where is it? Where's my Ubuntu? Where are you? I'm coming now. Okay, so the first question here says, based on the contents of the email header. All right, so we can actually pick it from here. This is it. The date is there and the time. In fact, they've even given us clues. to identify it. And the next question is, what is the subject of the email?
Your account has been flagged for illegal activity.
Exactly, that is it. So it is here. So that every other people can see it's here. Your account has been flagged for unusual activity. Question 3 says, who was the email sent to? The question are quite basic. We can pick that from the tow header. This is it. Solutions.net. Question 4 says, based on the sender's display name, who does the email claim to be from?
That what does it represent?
It's just a clue for you to identify the answer.
A clue to identify this.
Yes. So the question was on the full date and time.
Yes, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Star,
So
star, star.
the TU is the first 3 star and a comma.
31.
The 2 star space, the next 3 star. Yes.
Okay.
It's just a clue to get the answer.
That's what the time.
Question 4 says, based on the sender's display name, who does the email claim to be from?
Outlook support team.
Outlook support team. And then 5 says, what is the sender's email address with?
Social 2015 at social.1.table.each.
Now, this question here says, what email address is used for receiving bounced email? That is for, I did not explain that particular header, the return path. The return path.
Social 2015 at social.1.table.each.
Let me see the email addresses for receiving bouncing.
Yes, return path.
Okay.
The return path.
Yeah. So, this return path serves two purposes. If the recipient wants to respond, right? This is the email address it will go to. This is the email address it will go to.
What did you do that?
Now, sometimes, sorry, I'll come to that question. Sometimes, the hacker could craft this email such that the from email here looks legit, but the return path 9B own email address. He knows that if you actually send a reply to this other one, he won't have access to it. So he will specify a different email which he has access to. On that way, we have the return path.
Okay,
So,
but originally it's supposed to be the same email.
yes, for a legit email, it's supposed to be the
So
same.
this one has the return email is the same email.
It's still the same, but that is not enough. It's not enough to tell whether it's legit or not. You get it? It's not enough. So let's move on. The next
What
question
I'm trying to say for this particular sample
is the same.
This return email now is not the same thing with
The from, yeah, it's the same.
Yes, this is the same email. It's not the same. So it means that this is suspicious. This email is suspicious.
No, if you look at it, it's the same.
Eh?
Social,
Is it the same?
yes, it's the same.
Okay.
It's the same. All right. The next question there says,
What is the idea
Sorry,
of this?
sorry, before you get that. It means that in this case, it is possible that the attacker would have used social engineering to get into the legit sender. They send email from there. Then you now put his email address now for the reply.
that is very
Such
possible.
a scenario.
Yeah, it's
So
possible.
if the first email is legit,
Hmm.
you understand, and another, the return email is another email.
Yeah.
It means such an attacker would have had the credential of the legit owner.
Yeah.
You understand? Before sending email to somebody.
Sure. Or he can even create an email address that looks very close to that one. Exactly. So he could actually create, there are actually fake email domains where I could have Gmail, gmail.com. I could have gnail.com. Then create an account that bears a real name and that looks like another person's Gmail account and use it against you. Now remember, when we even started, we had flagged this email. We flagged it red because it appears to be coming from Outlook support team. And I said that if it's coming from an organization as big as Outlook, the domain here, I hope you know how to dissect an email address. Sorry. Hope you know how to dissect it. Sorry. Let me use this as pointer. This is what I mean by dissecting. Before you come to the @ symbol, what you have here before the @ symbol is the mail inbox. It's always unique. Two people cannot have the same. And then after the @ symbol, we have the email domain. The email domain or the company name. Okay, it's usually called email domain. So I'm saying that if this email is coming from Outlook support, the email domain should be outlook.com. You get? It shouldn't be whatever they are putting there. So that is why we flagged it initially. We flagged it red. Then going down, the next question here says,
Number 7, what is the IP address of the sender user?
this is the IP address, 40.107, where we have extender IP. You cannot see this one from the normal contents of the email. So we've been able to pick up the IP address of the sender. We can actually do a reverse lookup on that IP address to know
You can look at reverse
lookup, reverse NS lookup, reverse NS lookup on the IP addresses. Yes. Question 8 says, what is the resolved host name of the sender's IP address? So we actually need to copy that email address and then work with it. How much time do we still have? Okay, we still have time. Copy. So I'll open my browser. I can do this on my Chrome browser right here. So this is the tool I'm using for that. I can do it on my terminal, but I prefer using the web-based tool. Most of the times the tools on the terminal are not updated, but the one on the web base is always up to date. So I'll simply paste the IP address here. And then click on search.
Okay, this for the reverse.
use the NS lookup.
Yeah.
Let
We have different tools for it, but I choose to use this very one. So now we can pull out several information about the IP address. But the thing is this, please take note of this. There's no particular IP address that will point to the person actually. You know why? You know why?
Because the thing travels a long distance and different corporations have different IP setup for some benchmarks.
Apart from that,
Okay?
the nearest you can go is to be able to get to the person's gateway.
Okay?
Now, let me tell you what happens. Let's say we are all connected to the Wi-Fi here. Now, within that local area network, from the Wi-Fi to this other way now, it's a local area network, right? But from the Wi-Fi outside, it's a public network. Now, within the local area network where we are all connected, the router there assigns us a private IP address. Do you get? So the IP address actually identifies us within. But from the router outside, what it uses for communication is a public IP address. Could be just one public IP address. So the extent you can go in tracing that public IP address is at the door. You cannot come in and say, "Is this guy that did it?" You get? Because
You cannot get inside.
you cannot get inside. So, because this guy's IP address is a private IP address, not that public IP address. Are we together? But then with the public IP address, you can actually determine the geolocation, whether it's Abuja, which part of Abuja. That's the extent you can go using GPS information and other things like that. So now, this IP address has been resolved. This is the location, Netherlands, Amsterdam, Microsoft Corporation. Okay.
That's entirely.
Okay. And then this is the resolve host, protection.outlook.com. All right, so I think this should be able to answer the questions we have there. What is the IP address sender's email server? Did you answer that? Yes. The resolve name, we've seen the resolve host name.
What operation?
Owns the sender's IP address. We've seen it's Microsoft Outlook. Okay. Then what was the result of the SPF check? We did not talk about this.
What is SPF?
Remember that particular header that we saw received SPF.
Okay.
So we need to check there. So we head to the receive SPF header. So see, the check was given as pass. The check was given as pass. Actually, we've seen things that are convincing that the email is legit. But at the end of the day, we will verify whether it's legit or not. Like the SPF check, if it is passed, there's a hope that it's legit.
Domain of social L1 L2. So now that is not revealing it now. That's a domain of social L1.L2.pg. It's not Apple actually that owns the account.
Exactly.
Because Apple has seen that message that your account something has expired and want to restrict it. But now it's not showing the owner. The owner now domain of social L1L2.pg.
Exactly.
That
And
has exposed that already.
yeah, and you can see that this, the information here is that this particular IP address is a permitted sender. So let's still look more into it. The next question says, what is the email's message ID? We've already identified that. That does not really add to what we already know. What type of encoding was used to transfer the email content? We see it's verse 64. 13 says, perform a virus total scan on the URL. What verdict did Fortinet assign to it? Okay, can we detect any URL here? So the URL should be embedded in this encoded part. For us to be able to extract it, we need to decode this. All right, so quickly, see what we're going to do. The decoding will be in 2 steps. I'll copy this, see how long the encoding is. Verse 64. At least we are able to identify this. Remember, I showed you guys how to identify a base 64
encoding. It's
encoding.
possible also to go to that email and copy the link where they say you click. Then go and paste it.
Yes, it's possible.
Instead of going through this long process of encoding.
Well, it's just like I enjoy it. But then, that would have been a shorter way though. So, CyberChef, I'll paste it here. Paste. Then, verse 64. From verse 64. From verse 64. So it has encrypted, it has decrypted this. Now, that's not all. Now, if you notice, there's another encoding on it. There's another encoding on it. Look at it well. There's another encoding on it. Do you notice plenty semicolons?
Yeah, this is like HTML.
Exactly. So that tells us we should apply HTML to text.
You are changing from where to begin.
Yeah.
Instead of base 64.
No, yeah, it's looking from this before, like that converted to HTML to text. Because now, when you convert it from this before, you show it as HTML. From HTML, now send it to text. So you have to read it to text.
Okay, so still want to read it.
Yeah, if you want to see what
So
the
remember the conversion.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming.
look at it.
Okay,
This
you're
is the
supposed
before.
to
From this
highlight
before,
the
it's
output.
going to be HTML. And it's going to be text.
That will be a new output now. That will be a new input now.
Yes, I want to copy it as a new input.
You are copied it to where now?
You know,
Okay.
I have decoded the first step
Yes.
to this. I want to decode this to, yeah. All right, so,
Okay, now that we've put it,
Okay,
put it.
expecting it on the
sorry, HTML text. Let me see. Sorry, it's supposed to be from HTML entity. From HTML entity. Is there any difference? And then the next thing I'm supposed to do here is to extract URL. Remember, we are to extract URL. URL extract, so extract URLs. Yeah, we've gotten the final thing now. So, look at this. There are two URLs there. Now, look at the second one. It starts with an IP address. Please, whenever you see a URL that is starting with an IP address, it's automatically suspicious. It's automatically suspicious. Once you see a URL that starts with an IP address, so I believe this is the one we are to verify, not this one. This one is raw GitHub user content. This one is legit. This is a platform.
I think we are responding to question number 13.
See it here.
I think 13, yeah, 13.
Question number 13.
When you use extract HTML, extract not from HTML, what is the difference?
All right, so we are asked to scan a URL. When you go through that content, there was no URL, but we know that there's a URL inside the encoded body. So what we did was to decode that body first. Yeah. So when we decoded to the HTML level, I now use extract URL operation to automatically pull out the URLs for me instead of me scanning manually. You get?
Okay, yes, so you extracted first of all, you did the conversion to the internet so that I can read it.
Yes. And then I now extract the image.
Then you extract URL.
Yes, so I'll now copy. If I was to share this URL to another analyst, I will defang it. Yeah, I'll defang it. Now, I'm heading to VirusTotal to check for the credibility of that URL. I'll click on URL here and then paste it. This particular lab is very simple and straightforward. So we have 5 out of 98 security vendors flagging it to be malicious. Remember when I said, is it showing red or orange?
It's showing red.
Is it my eyes? Because
It's
orange, right?
It's showing phishing already.
I mean this color. It's orange, right?
No, it's showing phishing.
So
Security vendors
five security vendors have flagged it as malicious. And even if it was one, it is malicious. Even if it's one. It's just that the reason it's not plenty is because the fingerprint of probably the URL is not common. What it is using to detect it is not that common. So 5, you want to say something?
Or it could have been created by Cybersecurity.
Okay, you get the idea.
Yeah.
But as long as one has been able to flag it, so you can see the prominent one like Kaspersky and Fortinet. If these two guys tell you it is phishing, when these two guys tell you it is malicious, please believe it is malicious. Don't fall for it. Now, apart from that, there's something else I want to show you. Okay, the last question says, based on what you've seen here, let's just round this up. Question 14 says, after your analysis, is the email genuine or not? No. This one is very simple and straightforward. There's something I want to show us. There's a tool that we call URL to PNG. Now, it's actually a self-acclaimed screenshot as a service platform. This is what we use it for. If somebody sends you a URL, a link, and then you are not sure whether it's legit or not, just copy that URL, come to this platform. This platform will give you a view of what is on the platform. It will give you like a pictorial view of what is on the platform without you clicking that link to open it. You understand what I'm trying to say? It gives you a look, helps you to see through the link into the platform to know whether it's legit or not. Whereas VirusTotal will actually tell you exactly whether it's bad or not, but URL to PNG will open up for you. So if you open up the platform, and then you paste the link here. This is where to paste the link. See what I will do. Let me use this particular link to see what's going to happen. I don't want to open up that link to see what is there, but I'm bringing it to this platform so that it can help me. Breaches. I hate captchas. Okay. Then once you paste the link, you click on this camera icon. If the tool is able to open up that link at their end, they will give you a view of what it looks like here. And then you can now see the content and know whether you should go ahead, open it, and do what you are supposed to do. Let me look for a link that will actually work. Fish tank. You know about the platform? So this is a platform where phishing links are reported. So I want to pick any reported phishing link here. So it's loading. So if it's able to open it up, you'll see a glimpse of what the platform is all about. There was once I received one URL to register that, no, it wasn't to register anything. I should click on the link. Big Brother Nigeria is sharing 100,000 naira every weekend. I copied the link. I actually copied the link. When I pasted it here, I had the screenshot. I saw the screenshot. On the image there, I was saying where they write, every 2 seconds, Mr. Adeboye just received his 100,000 naira. I was like, I see the sharp. So fast.
Okay, the original message was displayed.
Yeah, what I'm supposed to see on the platform, yeah, was being displayed to me here. Yeah, the enticing message was there. I was like, see these people. I don't know why this one is taking long, but this is just an example of a phishing link. So if you have one, you can come here, use it. So URL to png.com, and then paste it here. Click on the camera icon there. Verify you are not a robot, and then you could have an output. Right, please, do you have any question pertaining what we've done today? More questions before I start asking mine? We are rounding up in the next 3 minutes. More questions, contributions? I think it's the last day we are meeting.
I would just say we have learned a lot. That we are still learning.
Sure, learning continues.
Definitely, this is like the base, the background. We definitely do on it. We can't learn everything.
So this is intermediate, right? The forensic, the forensic, the process is just
I don't know how to classify it.
Yeah, it's the forensics actually.
Okay, so I want to give us a little thing that we can try at home, like by ourselves.
No, I've done it. I didn't delete.
Delete?
Yes, I was supposed to delete
Don't
one.
confuse our facilitator, please. We're in
Okay.
the class.
Sorry. So I'm trying to say that I want to show us a lab that we can do on our free time. This particular lab, encryption and hashing. It's very simple and straightforward, but just try to see if you can do it. It will require you to act on it. Let me open it up for you to see. So once you log in on Hack365, you get to the intermediate. It's on intermediate. Let me just go backwards so you can see where I'm starting from. So once you are here, go to intermediate and then come to cryptography, play. We've already done this mod 26 in class. So this is the one I want you guys to try personally. So it's about decoding. No problem. So this is a description of the lab. So a file here is encrypted using OpenSSL. During the process of the encryption, a salt was used, and this is the flags that were involved, and the iteration value is 100,000. Iteration value was encrypted over and over and over and over and over. Iteration value of 100,000. And then they say within its content, that's after you've decrypted it, within its content, you'll find a direction that leads to the flag, that's to the answer of this lab. It's like you looking for something, but it is contained in the plain text after you have decrypted the ciphertext. All right, and you are given a key, the decryption key. This is the decryption key. Open to capital Z number 3, small r, capital, no, that's not capital O, that's number 0. Open to 0. All right, so this is the link where you will download the file you are supposed to use for the lab. Basically, this is what you do. If you simply copy this link, right? Okay, I can simply click on go to the link. So this is the link opening up. And click on download. The file is legit, please. It's a legit file. If it wasn't legit, it wouldn't be made accessible here. So once
If you go to the lab, you want to follow the same process.
Yeah, you have to follow the same process. Copy the link, paste on your browser, or you can just select the link, right click, open the link, and then download the file. Click on download. It will download it for you. Right, so this is the name of the file. Encrypted secret message is the name of the file. Once you download it, you now find a way to decrypt that file. Okay? The algorithm there is OpenSSL. So you can probably want to read up a little and then see how you can decrypt it. Get the answer, supply the answer, and you are done with the lab.
I see you didn't say it.
I didn't say
You didn't say
it.
it.
No, I said I didn't delete some of them because of duplicate.
Okay,
So
okay.
you see.
Okay.
No, I didn't delete. No, no.
Okay, so in the absence of no question and no further contribution, we've come to the end of today's class, and I really appreciate your time and your participation. Thank you so much for coming. I hope our knowledge will be transferred to the people that have missed today's session as well. No problem.
We didn't really don't know where to start the session because we're taking to the other day so impressive. We really appreciate this, and this is the beginning.
Oh.
We are just in general.
there's a lot more to be done.
To the new tech family, we have to go as such. We have to come in and be leadership partners. What's of their favor?
Miss Favor,
Maybe she went to them
item
the end
6.
of the
Okay. I got item 6. So please, are you guys on our platform,
We have to do discussion.
no.
our community?
No.
So we have a community where cybersecurity materials, updates are shared. I think she will share it with you guys.
Thank you so much. Now we've come to the end of today. So we're trying to really show appreciation to the operator, the CEO, the coordinators, the wonderful instructors, everything all together. Just wonderful. We come back again to continue this training here. The relationship with the platform. But as we are leaving here, we have a small plan. We didn't put it forward ahead of time because we didn't know the sector of this thing. We intend to sit out and make the results as final as we did. So we didn't verify. We don't know. We cannot do that until we have it. We can just have it here before we the chief himself. Thank you so much. You know you're around.
Yeah, I came out to step us by color.
Hey.
Morning, afternoon. How are we? What else? Different. How are you doing? What else? I'm good.
We were talking before you came in and going on in.
Okay.
I'm trying to thank the instructor and also the management of the area. The biggest of the time comes to you because you at the beginning and the end of this success. We came with a clear our request was actually granted. It's a lot for us. So this is a relationship that just started and it's going to foster stronger and becoming back with more knowledge because it's actually knowledge of the project. So I was also telling the representative and the trainer that as we are leaving the road to sit down for just 30 minutes, we will be putting your direction to have a drink before we start.
Today?
Yes.
Okay.
So most of the time when you come individually from everyone here, maybe next one you will do this. You might before I finish, this is my senior in the office and she's part of the program. So I also want to receive the most of the time from her. So
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Actually, I didn't know it was one hour, so this is more than expected. We have learned a lot. Things are new. Some is more like a refresher, especially for Jara, that knows this very well. So we really want to thank the management, the facilitators, the CEO, every one of us for taking your time to really ensure that we learn a new thing. We appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity to upgrade in this technological era. And we pray that the relationship will grow stronger and we will reach our zenith by God's grace. Thank you very much.
Thank you for everything. I think from our part, we are actually excited to have you sitting around. Personally, considering the legal contribution we are making to national security, we actually also find it as a privilege and an opportunity to have this or something come to learn in our premises. For us, these are also one of the ways we reach out to persons as a way of our contribution to national development of students. And again, more especially relationships with service like that. I think we've been in contact and communication for years now. And we actually got to meet each other through one of the training like this I facilitated for the immigration. I think that was 2018. So it's been long. And for us, we continue to do our best. And I'm actually happy at the turnout because sometimes when programs like this come up, it's easy to start, but not everybody will finish it. Sometimes it gets so technical and everybody says follow out. But at least thank God we've gotten to this point. Learning never stops. Even me personally, I still learn every day. None of our students just wait for media security certification and pass it. Funny enough, he started here as an intern while he was still in school. Then he has not finished. He went to school, came back for his official internship. His father decided I should wait here. Now he's going for service by January, and as of yesterday, he wrote his media security laws. He has cleared it. So we're already working towards enrolling for certified ethical hacker. He has passed this year.
He wants to do this
Personally, I was excited because this is just a student that intern and then we went back to school. He said he was like even lecturing his teachers and all that. So for me, that is also a success and a win. So please, for everyone of us, whatever we plan here, as much as possible, practice makes perfect. The industry is so funny that you leave it for a week, it will leave you. By the time you're coming back, you have to start doing a refresher course again. So please, as much as possible, with all we planned, let's try and practice them. So for us here, beyond being Sunset Academy, I'll just use this opportunity to share a little experience. Upgraded Era was founded in the year 2013 while I was still a student. And we got incorporated following year 2024. And since then, we've been doing our stuff, consulting, training. We've seen the harsh side of entrepreneurship in Nigeria.
Very harsh.
It's not. It's just the grace of God. So this week officially we got accredited officially as an institute. So we now have .edu.ng domain. We now have a full institution. We can issue our own certification. So by His grace, I think we will be the first entity that will be issuing certifications. So we cannot create our own certifications. Computer Security Plus will not come up with our own version of certification. Then we have Hack365 Global. We've also been able to patent it, and the document is here. It also came out. It's been patented, authorized by the president, and all that. So yes. This is just a way of assuring you that yes, you're in the right place, and in times to come, in the coming year, definitely academic sessions, we're going to be rolling out academic sessions by next year, and we'll also be seeing certifications now originating from Nigeria. No more only restricted to national certification, so we'll also be having our local certification, having our own exams where you write and you get certified. Yeah. And also, we are not looking at just the Nigerian market. We currently have offices in the US and in the UK. So we're also looking towards expanding into the global market, which we are recognized already. So our certifications are not only going to be recognized here in Nigeria, but also global.
So thank you all for staying this time. Hopefully, in the coming years, we'll also look at looking towards inviting all students that have taken a course with us in one way or the other to come for either a short diploma course where we're not giving them a professional diploma, whatever course. Yeah. Thank you all for your time, and please utilize it, because for us that is the joy with the ride. When you train here and you go out there, we're excited to see your experience out there. So there's a student that finished from here, he's currently in the UK for his master's, and he's doing well. When our office starting up in the UK now, he's already engaged while over there. So it's an avenue for us to learn and practice, and of course implement work. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So, our assistant is going to be
Okay. Doing well.
this week is a fish.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ephraim. Yeah, that would be good. Did you see this week at all? No. Okay, during the Monday meeting.